Eastenders shocks viewers with the aftermath of Stacey and Jack's affair, causing chaos in Walford. Sharon's update in Australia offers some relief, while Whitney's return brings drama with a foster child, and the Queen's revealing comment about Meghan Markle's absence at Prince Philip's funeral emerges, highlighting family tensions. Eastenders airs huge affair fallout in early iPlayer release. Will things ever be the same again? Eastenders spoilers follow from Tuesday's episode, March 19th, which is available to watch now on BBC iPlayer. This article contains storyline details that some viewers may prefer to avoid, as this episode hasn't yet aired on TV. Eastenders aired the huge fallout of Stacey and Jack's affair storyline in the show's latest episode. Stacey and Jack were caught in a compromising position by Martin in Monday's cliffhanger, just as they had finally accepted that their relationship had to come to an end. Viewers last saw Martin in January when he headed off to Australia to support his sister Michelle, who was recovering from an operation. Martin's early return threw Stacey into a spin, as she begged him not to tell Denise about what he saw. Stacey admitted that she was seeing Jack but isn't anymore, before reminding Martin that it's none of his business anyway. Torn over what to do, Martin decided to confide in Kathy about what he knows. However, Kathy also tried to persuade Martin to keep the secret, fearing the consequences for the rest of the 6 women if the truth does come out. As Martin pondered his decision, the guilt began to overwhelm Jack and he ended up breaking down to Denise in the kitchen. This led to them having a heartfelt conversation, where they vowed to stick together no matter what. The moment was eventually interrupted by Martin, who later told Jack that he wasn't going to tell Denise the truth as she'd been through enough. Sticking to his word, Martin was keen to move on from what he saw, until a confrontation with Chelsea changed everything. Unhappy with Martin, Chelsea fiercely defended Jack and accused Martin of causing unnecessary trouble. Chelsea's accusations caused Martin to finally snap, and he told Chelsea that he had walked in on Stacey and Jack kissing outside. Furious, Chelsea wasted no time in confronting Jack and Stacey publicly in front of their horrified families. Denise initially responded by insisting she knew all about it, until Martin stepped in and explained that he'd seen them kissing earlier that evening. A huge physical fight ensued between Jack and Martin, which Harvey ended up having to break up outside. Emotional, Stacey tried to explain herself but faced a major backlash, especially from her daughter Lily, who decided to go and stay with Martin. Denise also walked away from Jack, despite his repeated insistence that it was her he loved and that it was over with Stacey. With their families in tatters, Stacey and Jack were left to reflect on their actions, but what does the future hold for them all now? Eastenders airs on Mondays, Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One. The show also streams on BBC iPlayer, where most episodes drop early at 6 a.m. ahead of their TV broadcast. Eastenders finally delivers a major Sharon Watts update amid fears she is gone for good. This article contains spoilers for Tuesday's Eastenders, which has not yet aired on TV but is available to watch now on BBC iPlayer. Eastenders has finally given us an update on Sharon Watts following her sudden departure earlier this year. Sharon fled Albert Square to stay with best friend Michelle Fowler in Australia, following Keanu Taylor's murder. Everything became too much for Sharon when she realized that the 6 were going to have to bury Keanu's body, and she did a runner before anyone could stop her. Several days later, Martin Fowler headed out to join her after news that sister Michelle would be undergoing a hysterectomy. In more recent scenes, Martin returned to the square earlier than expected, and Kathy Beale was keen for information about Sharon's well-being. Martin revealed that Sharon had been all over the place when she first arrived in Australia, but informed a relieved Kathy that she was doing much better now. He explained how it had been her idea for him to come back to Walford sooner, but revealed that she was planning on staying in Australia for a little while longer. Of course, what Kathy really wanted to know was whether Sharon had let their murder secret slip, but Martin still seemed completely none the wiser. Fans have been eager for Sharon to return for weeks, with some even going as far as to find out when her passport runs out in order to get some idea of when to expect her return. In a recent behind-the-scenes video, Denise Fox actress Diane Parrish confirmed that the 6 would soon be back together again. However, with the murder weapon still missing and the 6 slowly crumbling, will Sharon return to complete disaster, or will she be the one to bring them all back together? BBC EastEnders spoilers reveal double return leading to bombshell ahead of sad exit. Eastenders spoilers tease two familiar faces will head back to Walford in upcoming episodes, resulting in a third character making a huge discovery that could change everything on the BBC soap. EastEnders viewers will welcome back two familiar faces next week on the BBC soap, but there's trouble ahead. Whitney Dean finally heads back to Walford after months away, and after her recent trip to Milton Keynes. Amid her and Zach Hudson being on the rocks, the pregnant character returns ahead of her permanent exit from the show. She's not alone though, as she heads back to Walford with teen Brittany, who she recently met in Milton Keynes during her visit to stepmother Bianca Jackson. Whitney realized Brittany was not being looked after by her mother, who then turned around and offered for Whitney to take the youngster off her hands. Whitney was keen to take care of Brittany, and it caused drama between her and partner Zach, who did not want to take a child on ahead of the birth of their baby. With Whitney soon leaving the show, spoilers appear to confirm further tension between the couple as Whitney and Brittany head to Albert Square. Next week, Zach decides to throw a welcome home baby shower for Whitney in the Vic. Soon, Whitney arrives home alongside Brittany, who reveals that she is her new foster mom. Zach is left reeling, and soon Whitney confirms the news to her partner. Zach storms out, furious that she didn't tell him after weeks apart. Whitney finds Zach to clear the air, but they continue to clash while Brittany causes trouble in the square. Later in the week, the pair do attempt to build bridges, while things remain tense. When Whitney realizes embarrassed Brittany has wet the bed, she takes the teen on a shopping trip to cheer her up. Similar articles to this. Later, Whitney and Brittany arrive home where Zach reveals he found food hidden under Brittany's bed and reasons that they need to tell the social worker. But Brittany soon has an explanation, leading to him opening up about his own fostering journey. Back at the flat, Whitney takes a phone call from the social worker, but Lauren overhears the conversation and presses her friend on what she is hiding. After finding out the truth, Lauren urges Whitney to tell Zach, but will she come clean? Late Queen's damning two-word reply when told Meghan Markle wouldn't be at Philip's funeral. Prince Philip passed away just 1 month after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle gave their explosive tell-all interview to Oprah Winfrey, causing a huge strain on their relationship with the royal family. The late Queen made a very telling comment when she was told that Meghan Markle would not be in attendance at Prince Philip's funeral, a royal expert has revealed. Philip passed away in April 2021 at the age of 99. The Queen was heartbroken by his death. They had been married for 74 years and he was her strength and stay for the duration of her 70-year reign. His death came at a difficult time for the royal family. Just 1 month earlier, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle sat down for their explosive tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey, during which they made a number of shocking allegations about the institution, including claims that members of the family had speculated about how dark their son's skin might be. They also alleged that Princess Kate had made Meghan cry shortly before their wedding and stated that the palace had perpetuated falsehoods about the couple. As a result, relations between Harry and Meghan and the rest of his family were incredibly strained. And there was much speculation about whether or not Meghan would attend the funeral given the tension provoked by the interview. At the time, Meghan was pregnant with the couple's second child, and COVID restrictions were still in place. The Queen famously had to sit alone during the service as she said goodbye to her beloved husband. It was decided that Meghan would remain at home in California, while Harry traveled to London alone. In his book, Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, biographer Tom Bower claimed the Queen was relieved by Meghan's absence. Mr. Bower alleges that when Her Majesty was told by aides that Meghan would be absent, she simply responded by saying, "Thank goodness." It comes after another renowned royal biographer revealed that Prince Harry greatly upset the Queen with some of his behavior. While grandmother and grandson had previously enjoyed a close relationship, the late monarch found herself in an impossible position as a result of Harry's actions. In her new book, My Mother and I, Ingrid Seward delves into Prince Harry's public fallout with his family and his anger at the British monarchy. He had discovered a way of making himself the center of attention, and that was by dissing his family, about whom he felt increasingly bitter, Ingrid writes. While his fallout with his brother was one thing, perhaps not uncommon amongst siblings, the anger aimed at the British monarchy, his father and stepmother, was totally unnecessary. His anger eventually destroyed his credibility in other areas of his life, and his grandmother, the late Queen, found herself in an impossible position. However much she loved Harry, and she did, she couldn't condone the way he was speaking about the institution of the monarchy that she had spent 70 years preserving. Similar articles to this. According to the author, Lady Elizabeth Anson, a cousin and intimate friend of the Queen, who would speak to her on the phone on a daily basis, further confirmed that Harry's attitude had upset his grandmother. Elsewhere in the book, Lady Anson also reveals how the Queen felt about Harry and Meghan's romance. Too in love was her response to Prince Harry being under his future wife's spell, she says. Please subscribe our channel.